Hello, good day, and how are you? Welcome back to Essay Read Views. Today, we got a Converge EP we're going to talk about called Beautiful Ruin. It's a good time. I have only listened to one album by Converge, and I'm not too sure how diehard the old fan base is. I don't know how many of them are going to watch this. I'm going to preface this with, I'm an outsider coming in, listening based on my own preferences, what I like in music, all that good stuff. And that being said, I mean, the review isn't actually that negative, but I'm just letting you know. I've only listened to one Converge album before, the old Dusk in Us. My friend down at the record store turned me on to it. He said Converge is one of his favorite bands, so I figured I'd give it a taste. We're not talking about Dusk in Us today. Beautiful Ruin. I saw it and I was like, hey shit, this new Converge. I thought it was just a single. And I went in, it's 4 tracks. I was like, alright, 4 tracks. I saw it was 6 minutes. And I was like, what? Cool. I can devote myself to that. We have Permanent Blue, Churches and Jails, Melancholia, and the title track. You know what? I gave this album an 80. Personally, I gave it an 80. Because, I mean, like, it's good metal. It's a good hardcore EP. But it's not really standing out to me in terms of the music. Like, it's not bad. It's good music. It's great performances. But the reason why I like it a little bit more than maybe just some random hardcore tape or something is more the thematic influences I'm pulling out of it that may or may not have actually been the purpose of what what Converge was actually trying to get through, but I thought it was kind of cool. Essentially what I'm getting from this album is it's the painting of the apocalypse, a very, very short apocalypse. That's why it's called the Beautiful Ruin. 6 minutes. Permanent Blue is 2.5 minutes. Everything else is 1.5 minutes long. Something I noticed on like my first listen, which was not hard. It was only 6 minutes. I've listened to it twice. I know, big devotion from ya boy. Permanent Blue has the tamest vocals right at the beginning of the song. It's not as intense, as growly, as yelling-ish as the rest of the album, and I think it's trying to paint some kind of change. You know, the start of some kind of apocalypse, whether that's like nuclear or environmental. It's very primal. I like a lot of the layers that are throughout the song, especially the drums. That's something that I always listen for a lot in an album. How are the drums sounding? How are the drums being emoted? And the drums, you know, they're full of fun little meters that change up throughout the songs. From the first song, from the very first listen, is that it sounds legitimately intimidating. You know, this album, as it keeps going and sort of delves deeper into this pit of destruction and decay and anger and just scariness, as it becomes legitimately intimidating. You know, from the screamings actually being passionate death curdles or squelches of voice. It really comes through as very animalistic and primal. Churches and Jails? I actually was getting some Tony Hawk's Pro Skater vibes from that track. It's like the punkiest track. It's very ravenous. It's very intense and pummeling. I did note that, you know, this is a good example of how I feel like there's just not enough change up in the sonics of the album. And then we go into the third track, Melancholia, which I thought was kind of ironic as a title, because the first time I listened to it, you know, I was feeling that. I was kind of feeling underwhelmed. You know, it wasn't as pummeling as Permanent Blue, even Churches in Jail. The sort of like chorusy part that comes in near the end was pretty satisfying for how the song sort of started out. I noted that there was the same kind of guitar fuckery with like the feedback from an amp that was on Under Duress in the Dusk in Us. I don't know if they've like done that a lot throughout their discography. I just know it was there, and I mean, I liked it there, I liked it here, and then it goes right into Beautiful Ruin, which, you know, I sort of pointed out that it is kind of symbolic. You know, it kind of displays this complete loss of structure. You know, from the first song where the tame vocals and the you know, the clear fills and change-ups, and then Beautiful Ruin is just a complete damn mess. And I like it, you know, and it's displaying this change over time of things just getting worse and worse and worse until, you know, you actually get to the end of the track. And I noted we finally got like a hooky guitar line. It's kind of like a little payoff for the little EP. I thought it was alright. Yeah, Beautiful Ruin. It's hysterical. It really fits the title. And yeah. So, yeah, like I said, it's an 80 out of 100. I did have it at sort of like a 75, 77.5. But yeah, I moved it up to an 80 after my second listen because I started getting that thematic influence. I mean, I check it out. It's not too memorable in terms of music. I feel like if this thing is going to be remembered, it's going to be from the people who got that sort of, that apocalyptic, end of the world, you know, growing monster theme. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Beautiful Ruin by Converge. Thanks for joining. Long live music, and have a good day.